because let us assume that some parents took a loan to send their children to school, believing that within a certain period, those children would have graduated. But as we speak, in 2020, these students lost almost a whole year to coronavirus, to lockdown. And 2021, we had ASU strike. 2022, ASU strike again for 5 months. And this strike is still about the same issue. And this ASU strike is becoming too incessant. At least ASU has gone on strike about 16 times since 1999. I think a permanent solution should be found to the problem that is bedeviling our educational system. Because education is the bedrock of development of any nation. Without education, no nation can develop. And then we are concerned about the high level of unemployment in Nigeria. When children go to school, when the university students do not graduate, how do they get employed? If they do not graduate, how do we replace the human resources that are retiring? So their consequences for the nation is quite grave. And then I want the federal government to look at the issues raised by ASU and do something quickly. If ASU says IPIS is not suitable for their peculiar situation, federal government should look at the alternative proposed by ASU and work it out with them in an amicable way, such a way that children can go back to school as quickly as possible. Because an idle hand is the devil's workshop. So many young girls would have become pregnant as a result of the prolonged ASU strike. So many potential great men would have also become engaged in crimes. That would have also aborted their destiny. So I want to also join ASU in labor, which is an umbrella body of all ASU, labor and NLC and TUC are the umbrella bodies of all the workers' unions and associations in Nigeria. And they have a reason to cry. They are also stakeholders, because they are also parents of these children that are out of school. ASU is also a member of the bodies. So they have a right to protest and ask federal government to do something quickly, so that the nation will not be shut down. Our economy is fragile. We can't afford another total shutdown. We have not forgotten the lessons we learned during the NSAS protest. We should not allow another one, a similar one, or a more serious one to happen.
Okay, thank you. Let's see this story before we move away from blueprint. Free, credible elections indispensable to stability in West Africa. That's coming from Buhari.
That is absolute truth. It's correct, because without justice, you can't have peace. And without fair, credible, and a free election, then there is no justice. But people must be adequately educated. When you talk about free, you talk about fair, you talk about credible. Do people really know how to go about voting for a credible person when we are still dealing with the issues of vote buying? How can we say that elections are free and fair when voters' apathy is still rife? How do we talk about free and fair and credible elections? All these issues must be properly addressed, not only by government, but by traditional rulers, religious leaders, and the CSO.
Okay.
We must educate people properly.
Okay.
Election is not about voting for somebody of the same faith with us, of the same ethnic group with us,
Okay.
but people who have the right capability, capacity, and the right character
Okay.
to lead us to promised land.
All right.
It should not be about religion. It should not be about tribe, but about capacity,
Okay.
about capability,
Okay.
and about credibility.
Okay. All right. Now let's see this story. Water Resources Bill reps disown alleged plot to impeach Gbajabiamila.
Too many fake news, misinformation,
Okay.
and disinformation are making the rounds to manipulate the mind of the people, just because, majorly because of this electioneering period that we are in. So the story about the North trying to impeach Gbajabiamila, to me, is false. And it's an attempt by mischief makers
Okay.
to pitch one part of the country against the other.
Okay. Now let's see this story before we move away from blueprint. Terrorists kill 4, abduct 60 in Zamfara, Kaduna Millennium City.
This issue of terrorism is really a serious issue that we Nigerians are not taking serious. We believe that it's the government alone that have something to do, and then we also believe that it has to be by military action. These terrorists live with us. They live in our midst. We know them. But because they are our brothers, because they are members of the same faith with us, because they are members of our tribe, we keep quiet. Even when we see them planning, even when we see them move. And then another problem that we have that is impeding the war against terrorism in Nigeria is corruption. Corruption. Because we have made material well-being the major issue, our focus, our priority, and money is now our God. We can't serve Satan and not expect evil things to happen. We are busy worshiping money. Money has no value. Human lives no longer have value in Nigeria. And then another problem that we have with insecurity is unstable homes, poor parenting. Many homes are breaking up. So this is an issue that everybody must address. Religious leaders must be up and doing. They must teach their followers the truth as it is contained in the Bible and in the Quran. And then the traditionalists must ensure that their members follow the tenets of their religion, the way it was practiced in the days of old. We should de-emphasize the role of money in the society. We must stop. You can imagine a wanted bandit being turbaned. Known criminals, wanted people being given chieftaincy title in the southwest and in the east because they have money to throw at religious, at our traditional rulers. Once you come with Ghana must go bag full of money, you are a great man. You are a great philanthropist. The person is rebranded as a good person. Somebody who should be condemned. Somebody who should be isolated. The same thing in our religious organizations. In the church, in the mosque, everywhere. We worship money bags. So everybody wants to become rich. A bandit that was caught, granted an interview to BBC and said, look, this is the most lucrative business now in Nigeria. Everybody wants money, so they are in it. And he also went ahead to say that even government is making money out of it. And then nobody is doing something about brainwashing people. It's not happening only with Islam. It's happening also with Christianity. We saw what happened in Ondo State when children refused to go home with their parents because they have been brainwashed. And so many people are being brainwashed. Adults and young people are being brainwashed alike in the north and in the south. So, and then the division, the mistrust between us is also hindering the fight against terrorism.
Okay.
Instead of us to unite against terrorism, we are allowing terrorism to even divide us further.
All right.
It's unfortunate that on a daily basis we lose lives.
All right. Let's see this story on the front page of the Nation newspaper. 2 officers, 6 soldiers killed in attack on presidential guards.
It's quite unfortunate. That is striking terror real home. Because if presidential guard can be that attacked, it lay credence to the fact that corruption is right in the war, in hindering the war against terrorism. Because how did the terrorists know the movement of the presidential guard? And then the presidential guard are an elitist corps that has received specialized training. So if that's if the presidential guard can be attacked just like that, then who is safe in Nigeria? It means the president is not safe, his family is not safe, the vice president is not safe, the president of Senate is not safe, the speaker, his deputy, the chief judge, they are not safe. Because these are the security apparatus trained, specially trained to protect them, to give them protection. So if they could be open to that kind of attack, then how safe are we?
Yeah. Okay. Now let's see this related story from the New Telegraph. Military ambush attack on guards brigade. Military sources suspect sabotage.
That is exactly what I say. It couldn't have happened without an insider.
Okay.
And definitely it's either because of money, which is corruption, because of religion, because of tribalism.
Okay.
The corruption could be sponsorship from outside Nigeria. Some interest. Some people, I think some people are interested in Nigeria breaking up. And they are doing everything to ensure that this happens. They are sponsoring people here and there. Religious fanaticism is also playing a role. And then and tribalism is also there. If you bring these governments down, are you not bringing the country down? And when the country goes down, isn't everyone going down with the country? We are Nigerians only when Nigeria exists.
Yes.
You don't cut off their nose to spite their face. And the unfortunate thing is that we're simply not patriotic. We're not loyal citizens of Nigeria. This must be taught. Civic education must be handled with seriousness. Nigeria National Orientation Agency must be alert to its responsibility in educating the nation.
Okay. All right. Let's see this story, related story. Growing insecurity. Senate passes bill to establish commission against arms proliferation.
I think it's a welcome development. It ought to have happened a long time because there's a proliferation of arms in Nigeria as a result of problem unstable governments in Africa. So there the arms come in many ways. Some come in as spare parts, only to be assembled in the country. Some come in just as the way they are. But because of corruption,
Okay.
and then because of our porous borders, and because of the size of Nigeria, it makes it quite difficult to police.
Okay.
The large expanse of land makes it difficult to police every inch of the country.
Okay. Let us see this story from the Guardian newspaper. Senate Mall, Abuja residents on high alert over planned attack.
They should. What is the Senate going to say? Propose a law or enact law? But yes, the residents of Abuja must be on high alert. If the presidential guard was attacked with ease, who knows where is next?
Okay. Now, let's see this story from the Daily Sun. DSS submitted 44 reports before Kuje prison attack. That's coming from the reps.
I think somebody should be held responsible for inaction and should be punished.
Okay. I'm moving to the leadership newspaper now. Restructure debt to avoid default. IMF warns Nigeria. Others.
Wow. I think the global financial institutions have pushed us to where we are. Now they're asking us to restructure. I think if Nigerian as the Minister of Finance told us that we are lagging behind in the payment of our debts because the income, our income, is not commensurate with the debt that we have to pay. So I think we have to restructure. We have to approach our creditors and see what can be done. Okay. And then we must also become creative. Okay. We must look inward. What can we do to increase our revenue generation? Okay. And there are so many things to be done. All loopholes must be blocked. Refineries, our refineries must work. When we take loan, we must use loans that we take for capital projects that will aid revenue generation, not to pay salaries, not to fund campaigns, or for things that will not help the country.
Okay. Yeah. Now, let's see this story from the Nigerian Tribune. Reps move to bar CBN governor, deputies from partisan politics.
I think it's a welcome development because we were all embarrassed earlier this year when we learned that the governor of Central Bank was one of those people who was going to participate in the presidential election. It was quite embarrassing. And then it happened because there's no part of the law or of our constitution that bars him from participating in partisan politics. But I think it should be bad. Okay.
Now, I'm moving to the Daily Trust newspaper now. 2023, North lags behind as voter registration ends in 4 days.
That's news to me because the belief before now is that they are far ahead of the rest of us because they are more politically alive than the rest of us. So to hear that they lag behind is news. I just believe that they are governors and then they should do more in making them to rise up to the occasion. Yes, because no part of the country should lag behind the other. We should all be on the same page to move the country forward.
Now, let's see another story here. No immediate solution to aviation crisis. That's coming from the minister and the airline operators.
Yes, because of the crisis, the problem that that the country has with fuel aviation, with aviation fuel, how would the airline operators access aviation fuel? How will it be made available to them at a reasonable cost?
Okay. Now, thank you. Let's see this story quickly before we round it up on the program today. Buhari seeks Senate confirmation of Ariwola as CJN.
They should please go ahead and confirm him as a CJ.
The head of Nigeria.
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. Viewers at home, this is where we are going to call it off for today. Citizen Lolawe, I appreciate your coming on the program today.
Thank you, it's my pleasure.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. Viewers at home, until tomorrow. Tomorrow is another edition of this program, Newspaper Today. Until tomorrow, when you'll be joining my colleagues, I remain yours, Kayode Adebayo. Bye-bye.
ẹ má ṣe dà dọ̀tí sójú pópó ìdọ̀tí sínú kọ́tà ẹ má ṣe dà dọ̀tí sójú afárá ìdọ̀tí sínú rívà ẹ má ṣe dà dọ̀tí sílé onílé ìdọ̀tí sójú títì ẹ má ṣe dà dọ̀tí sójú àgbàrá. ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣàmì lọ́dún èyí a ò ní rí ìjà omi ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣàmì lọ́dún èyí a ò ní rí ìjà omi àfọwọ́fà ló pọnú ṣẹlẹ̀ oníyàlé àwọn tó kàn ló mọ̀ lọ́lá olúwa ibi òní kan wá ìkìlọ̀ rẹ o everybody ẹ wá gbọ́ òye ìkìlọ̀ rẹ o everybody ẹ wá gbọ́ òwà ṣe ti gbọ́. Ìgbà oṣù bá ń rèé àti mọ́, a ò tètè mọ́, ojúmọ́ fẹ́ mọ́, ojúmọ́ ire mọ́ mi lónìí, ó wá ṣèbà àkọ́dá ayé o. Òjò ìtura rọ̀ sílẹ̀ rẹpẹtẹ, ilẹ̀ tó mọ́, ojúmọ́ ire ni mo ti bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́dá mi ṣàgbérò, mo ti bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́dùn máa gbé sọ̀rọ̀.
òjò ìtura rọ̀ sílẹ̀ rẹpẹtẹ. Ilẹ̀ tó mọ́ ojúmọ́ ire ni. Mo ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ dá mi ṣàgbérò. Mo ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ tó máa gbé sọ̀rọ̀. Mo ti sọ tó ń gbé mi lọ́kàn. Mo ti wí fún mi mo ṣe. Ojúmọ́ ire mọ́ mi lónìí. Ojúbà ẹni tó ṣẹ̀dá ọjọ́ o. Ìgbà òṣùpá ń bèbí àti wọ̀. A ò tètè mọ̀ ojúmọ́ fẹ́ mọ́. Ojúmọ́ ire mọ́ mi lónìí. Mo wá ṣèbà àwọ̀dà ayé o. Òjò ìtura rọ̀ sílẹ̀ rẹpẹtẹ. Ilẹ̀ tó mọ́ ojúmọ́ ire ni. Mo ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ dá mi ṣàgbérò. Mo ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ tó máa gbé sọ̀rọ̀. Mo ti sọ tó ń gbé mi lọ́kàn. Mo ti wí fún mi mo ṣe fẹ́. Ọ̀rọ̀ mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ dá mi sọ. Kò sẹ́ni lè yí padà láéláé. Ọ̀rọ̀ mo kọ́. Ojúmọ́ ire mọ́ mi lónìí. Ojúbà ẹni tó ṣẹ̀dá ọjọ́ o. Ìgbà òṣùpá ń bèbí àti wọ̀. A ò tètè mọ̀ ojúmọ́ fẹ́ mọ́. Ojúmọ́ ire mọ́ mi lónìí. Mo wá ṣèbà àwọ̀dà ayé o. Òjò ìtura rọ̀ sílẹ̀ rẹpẹtẹ. Ilẹ̀ tó mọ́ ojúmọ́ ire ni. Mo ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ dá mi ṣàgbérò. Mo ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ tó máa gbé sọ̀rọ̀.
Bí mo ṣe fẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ mo bẹ́lẹ́dà mi sọ kò sẹ́ni lè yí padà láéláé ọ̀rọ̀ mo borí sọ àṣẹ ti gùn. Kí ló dé mi ì borí sọ pé mo fẹ́ máa kọrin ẹ̀dẹ̀ sọ pé ṣé ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo borí sọ ni pé kí n máa kọrin. Ó ní ọ̀rọ̀ tí èmi àti ẹlẹ́dàá adániwáyé àṣekánmákù ògbéni níjà kẹrù ó bó níjà ó ní ọ̀rọ̀ tí a jọ sọ. Mo sì mọ̀ wípé bí ọjọ́ òní ti sílẹ̀ ọlọ́run tó sílẹ̀kùn ọjọ́ òní yóò fi àṣẹ yóò fi dáhùn àdúrà mi sáà ẹ̀yin náà ìwé ti yín níbi tẹ́wà yẹn yóò fi àṣẹ yóò fi dáhùn gbogbo àdúrà gbogbo èròǹgbà rere tí a ní lọ́kàn gbogbo àdúrà kẹ́lẹ́kẹ́lẹ́ tí a gbà sí alárabí yóò fi àṣẹ dáhùn àdúrà wa àmín. Ẹ fọwọ́ àdúrà bọ́jú ẹ má fi bọ́jú tèmi o ojú ara yín. Èyí ni mo fi kí ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa pé ẹ kú ojúmọ́ mọ́ ní gbogbo ibi tí afẹ́fẹ́ iléeṣẹ́ wa yìí tí ó fẹ́ dé. Fún ti òwúrọ̀ yìí ni mo sì ń kí yín pé ojúmọ́ ayọ̀ ojúmọ́ ìṣẹ́gun ìlọsíwájú ojúmọ́ ìṣerere ojúmọ́ àlàáfíà ojúmọ́ àìkú baálẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ kó kalẹ̀ sí ọ̀dẹ̀ yìí lágbára Ọlọ́run. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò wa ojúmọ́ ire fún tèmi àdúpẹ́ ní ọwọ́ Ọlọ́run ọba tí ó dá wa ọba tó mọ̀ wá Ọlọ́run tó